mi novia te gusta. Everybody's watching these. These are big iguanas. They're really big ones. So anyways, I think they're getting it on right here. That's what it looks like to me.
Oh, really? What are you, a holiday here or living for winter?
Winter.
Ah.
Winter holiday.
Look at that big. They are different because one's got a big one.
Yeah, maybe it ain't
one's got a
sex.
small one.
Anyways.
Excuse me, don't go too close.
Yeah, it's a fight. Shall we go? He's got a dancing horse. I've talked with some of those guys. They pay a lot of money for those dancing horses. I was really surprised. Some of them are really expensive. Vida's leaving me. There's some kind of a music festival going on down here today. I've been buried in that room for days working on a very hard project. I gotta get out of there and do something with my hands. I did a couple things to my bike today. It always needs something, right? Let's see what we get down here. Obviously, another fair type thing. They have this stuff here quite often, kind of stuff. This one just has music.
But I believe that estamos cruzando caminos, crossing paths for a reason. It is the season.
Full of gringos.
Thank you to Mexico for giving us so much. You know why?
I don't remember.
Game is a cheat code. A reason.
Gracias, gracias.
From what I've shown you by now, I'm sure you can plainly see that everything the mainstream media tells us about Mexico is 100% true, and therefore everything else they say about anything else must also be 100% true, right? You buying that? Yeah, what I think is this is the way they bullshit us and brainwash us. So, you know, this is what makes it so important to seek information off of mainstream and on free speech media. Now, I learned about the free speech medias back, in 2020, when my friends began to tell me about them, and I began to go there and just snoop around and look things up, and and I began to find truth. Gotta look, because there's bullshit in there, but I began to find truth. Well, now this is cool. It's 11 o'clock at night. I just started riding home. I'm deep in Mexico. The bike just quit all at once, which made me suspect spark, which it is. The spark is not happening anymore. So we'll see if I can get this thing fixed. Now, the ignition system, I've got another one on me. It's not the ignition box. I tried my spare. It's not that. So we'll see what I have to do to get it working. I'll let you guys know. Okay, now these systems are pretty simple. The power comes from the battery, goes to the key switch. It comes out of 3 wires, come out of the key switch, and they go to 3 breakers. Okay, one of those goes to the dashboard, the other one goes to the lights, and the other one goes to the motor. Okay, and that's as simple as it is. And they're all separate systems. So I found the problem. Because the thing just shut off. I'm gonna show you what it is. Its problem is obvious. Okay, I pulled the headlight out, right? Here's the 3 breakers. Well, there's actually 4. I'm not gonna explain the other one. You see this wire here? Broke right off. See it? One way or another, I gotta hook that back on there, and the thing should run. No doubt that's the one for the ignition. Big mess in there, right? A lot of this is stereo stuff because the wires go up to the handlebars and the dashboard. This here is actually a piece out of a pickup truck I put in here for the headlights. This piece puts these lights on a separate system, so if I lose one light, I still have the others. So I kind of like that. So let me get to fixing this thing. My little bag of tricks. I happen to have some wire end connectors here, and one of them kind of fits. I could have put it together without one and made it work. But see, the ignition system is separate, and so these 3 breakers, one of them goes to the motor, and that has to go to one point, and it lights up the entire ignition system, which is separate from the rest of the motorcycle. So all I had to do was test the power coming to the ignition system, and I wasn't getting any. I could have run any hot wire to it to make it run, I guess. I had to lift the gas tank, I had to pull the fucking headlight out, but so I checked that and there was no power going to it. So the next question is, if the power comes from the battery, goes to the key switch, comes out of the key switch, goes through this breaker to the motor, why ain't it going there? That's why I pulled the headlight and looked in here and found this broken wire. Now I fixed it and it runs fine, starts right up. I just got to put it back together. So one of the things I like about the Mule, some people wonder why I'm not riding the red bike. The Mule's like my favorite old t-shirt, man, and that you never want to get rid of. And I have a lot of history with it, but I also like the simplicity of it. That 1995, the new bike is 3 years newer, but it has some differences. It has more complication. Everything in here is plastic. Right? In this one, it's all metal. This is very simple to understand. That one's basically the same thing once you take the fuel injection system off. See, down here, there's no cavalry to save you. I have to figure out how to make this thing run again. So I would have had a harder time with the red bike, especially if it was a fuel injection problem. If I had a carburetor on it, no big deal. I might have been really stuck with a fuel injection problem. So that's why that one's probably not going to keep its injection. This is why I like simple old motorcycles, right? Now for my uses, which are, I'm trying to get a lot of miles and with as much economy as possible. Will a new bike go the same place as this one will? Pretty much. They're heavier, considerably heavier. The only trouble I might have is stuffing it into some of the places I put this bike. This bike, I believe, is the lightest motorcycle of its kind ever built, of the baggers. And but pretty much a new one will take me where this one will go. But economically, forget about it. And can I fix it? No. So for my uses, which is a lot of traveling economically into far out places, this bike is an upgrade for my uses for a new one. Once in a while I watch one of Itchy Boots' videos. I'm sure some of you guys know about her. But she's made millions of dollars with her channel and all of her merch and all that shit. She traveling the world. She can have any bike she wants. She had she's got a bunch of them. But not too long ago, she had a Frenchman put together a bike for her uses. And you know what it is? I went and watched that video. It's a 1986 Yamaha Tenere. They went backwards in time so it could be simpler. He put all kind of backup systems in there so she could just switch from one to the other. So for all the bikes that she could have, she went back to 1986. For us, these old bikes are an upgrade compared to, you know, what a lot of folks would think of as being an upgrade, which is maybe more power or something. In touring and in traveling, there's things that are more important than power. Things like heat, things like reliability, things like fixability. Heat's a big problem. Power makes heat. As they keep putting more power into these things, they've had a harder time keeping them cool. The air-cooled ones, they've gone to oil cooling and water cooling and stuff to try to keep them cooler. But having an air-cooled system also eliminates another system that I would have to fix when it broke, which would be a whole water circulation system, right? So it makes it simpler. So anyways, I just got to put this back together. I started it up. It starts right up. That stupid wire broke. This old bike's getting to that point where it's doing that kind of shit. My last one began to have wiring problems, and it had a lot of them. I ended up putting in a used wiring harness. I got into it until I wore that one out. The last bike had over 500,000 miles on it. So this one's getting there. I'll probably start riding that red one pretty soon. And ultimately, I'll end up converting that to the simple systems that this one uses. I'll have to. I also want to point out to you guys that I tested to see if I had power coming with this little thing. I don't know if you can see it. This is an auto parts store thing, real cheap. And it actually is a voltmeter. I've never been without one. I always keep one. All it is a voltmeter. They make little cheap multimeters, but the son of a bitches never work. To get a good multimeter, you got to spend a bunch of money, and it's a bigger unit. But this, I just used it for a test light tonight to see if power was coming to these places, and it wasn't, and then it was, and that's how I figured it out. So this is a good tool to have. I always have one on me. Remember this? We used to have it. They got a piñata. Before cell phones and Xboxes. It's Elias. ¿Qué pasa, Elias? ¿Tiene muchos niños?
Sí,
¿Por qué?
es que es el primer aniversario de la escuela de bots de niños.
¿Sí?
Sí.
Primer aniversario. You're a teacher.
Sí.
You're a
Como
teacher.
coaching.
Sí.
Boxing.
Oh, boxing.
Yeah.
That's right. I've seen you boxing.
Yeah.
School of Boxing. You're the primary
Yeah.
teacher. Ah,
Muchos niños.
muchos.
Sí, demasiados.
It's too many. That's what it means. They're all playing. He's got a piñata. I remember those days. You see it down here all the time, but it used to be pretty common in the States. When a lot of us, many years ago. I loved watching it down here. You see it all the time. Kids playing in the dirt with each other. Kicking balls, riding bicycles. It's just dancing too. They have like these dance classes in the central parks, and there'll be a woman, and usually it's a bunch of girls. A bunch of kids, I mean kids. So I just find it cool, you know. Well, the Gypsy Gene Cancer fundraiser is coming up pretty soon, May 15th through the 17th, and I'm hoping to see some of you there. It sounds like a lot of people are going to show up this year. We'll see what happens. I'm also going to leave you one of those things, I forget what you call them, I've never used them, where you can point your phone at it and donate money to this event if you'd like to. As you know, all the money is going to the people that need it, all the profits. You know, hopefully it's something that we can do that's really good in this screwed up old world, you know, with all of its darkness. We can throw a little light on it. And so I hope to see you there, and if not, I'll see you all on the next video.